2 weeks and $700 in fines later, Karen stood in her pristine kitchen, Victory coffee mug in hand, watching Tom Henderson load his handcrafted mailbox into a borrowed pickup truck. The sight should have filled her with satisfaction, but instead, something cold settled in her stomach. Through their window, she could see Sarah bouncing a crying baby, her face drawn with stress. The replacement mailbox arrived that afternoon, a standard black plastic postbox that looked like every other one on the street. Uniform, proper, completely soulless. Karen's triumph lasted exactly 18 hours. At 6:47 am, her phone exploded with notifications. The Willowbrook Estates Facebook group was in chaos. Photos flooded her screen, dozens of them, all featuring the same impossible sight: a golden throne where the Henderson mailbox used to stand. Not gold-painted, not gold-plated, actual, gleaming, sculptural gold, complete with velvet cushions, ornate armrests, and a mail slot carved into the back like a royal decree dispenser. A small plaque at the base read, His Royal Mailness, approved by royal decree of the People's Republic of Maple Street. Karen's coffee mug shattered against the kitchen floor. Her phone rang immediately. Board member Patricia Yates was practically hyperventilating. Karen, have you seen it? It's got to be 8 feet tall. The news vans are already here. News vans. Karen's blood turned to ice as she peered through her blinds. Channel 7's satellite truck was parked directly across from the golden monstrosity, and reporter Jessica Chen was already doing a live broadcast. What neighbors are calling the mailbox revolution here in Willowbrook Estates, where one family's creative response to HOA enforcement has captured the internet's attention. Karen's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Check the regulations. No height restrictions on throne-style mailboxes. Also no rules about gold content. Hope this meets your approval. Your royal neighbors. She grabbed her keys and stormed outside, ignoring the gathering crowd of neighbors and reporters. The throne was magnificent and ridiculous, and completely, utterly legal according to her own meticulously crafted regulations. She'd been so focused on standard mailbox specifications that she'd never considered alternative architectural styles. Tom Henderson emerged from his house, wearing a cardboard crown and carrying his infant daughter. Morning, Karen, he called cheerfully. Hope the new mailbox meets HOA standards. We had it appraised. Turns out it increases property values by about 12%. The crowd of neighbors erupted in applause. Mrs. Patterson's Yorkshire Terrier yapped approval. Even Karen's own board members were trying to hide their smiles. Jessica Chen shoved a microphone in Karen's face. Mrs. Whitmore, as HOA president, what's your response to this creative interpretation of your neighborhood guidelines? Karen stared at the golden throne, then at Tom's proud grin, then at baby Henderson, gurgling contentedly in her father's arms. The entire neighborhood was watching, waiting for her response. Social media was already turning this into a viral sensation. She had two choices: double down and become the internet's most hated HOA president, or find a way to salvage this situation with her authority intact. Well, Karen said slowly, her mind racing, creativity within regulatory compliance is commendable. But as the crowd cheered and cameras rolled, she noticed something that made her blood run cold. The throne wasn't just a mailbox. Carved into its base, almost invisible unless you knew where to look, was a small symbol that looked suspiciously like blueprints. The Hendersons weren't finished. This was just the beginning. Karen Whitmore's measuring tape snapped back with a violent thwack against her wrist as she crouched beside the Hendersons' mailbox, her face twisted in vindictive satisfaction. 18¾ inches high, she muttered into her phone's voice recorder. Regulation clearly states 18 inches maximum. The ornate Victorian-style mailbox, complete with decorative scrollwork and a tiny copper weather vane, had been mocking her from across Maple Street for exactly 43 days, not that she was counting. Straightening her blazer with military precision, Karen marched across the street, her sensible pumps clicking against the asphalt like a countdown timer. She'd been HOA president for 3 years, 2 months, and 16 days, and not once, Not once had anyone dared to install such an ostentatious display of neighborhood disruption without proper approval. The Hendersons were about to learn that Willowbrook Estates had standards. "This ISO ends today," she announced to Mrs. Patterson's Yorkshire Terrier, who had the audacity to lift his leg on her prized rosebush. Even the dogs in this neighborhood had no respect for authority. The doorbell's cheerful chime felt like a battle cry. When Sarah Henderson opened the door, flour dusting her apron and a warm smile creasing her face, Karen felt her resolve sharpen like a blade. Nice people were always the most dangerous. They made you drop your guard. "Karen, what a lovely surprise. Would you like some coffee? I just pulled banana bread from the oven." This isn't a social call. Karen's clipboard materialized like a weapon. "Your mailbox is in violation of Section 4.2 of the HOA guidelines. Height restriction, unapproved decorative elements, and," she squinted at her notes, "excessive fanciness." Sarah's smile faltered. "Excessive fanciness. It's just a mailbox, Karen. My husband made it himself. He's so proud of the craftsmanship." Pride doesn't excuse rule violations. Karen's pen scratched across the citation form with surgical precision. "You have 72 hours to replace it with an approved model. Failure to comply will result in daily fines of $50. The color drained from Sarah's face. $50. "Karen, we just had the baby, and Tom's hours got cut at the plant. Can't we work something out?" But Karen was already turning away, her duty complete. Rules were rules, and exceptions were the first step toward neighborhood chaos. She'd seen it happen in Elmwood Gardens. One unapproved mailbox led to pink flamingos, garden gnomes, and property values plummeting faster than her ex-husband's sobriety. 3 days later, Karen's morning patrol revealed the Henderson mailbox still standing in all its offensive glory. Her phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. "Karen, please call me. We need more time." More time. As if regulations operated on a sliding scale of convenience, Karen's fingers flew across her phone screen, scheduling the official fine notice and photographing the violation from 6 different angles. The Hendersons had made their choice, and now they'd face the consequences. But as she composed the penalty letter, something nagged at her. Through the Hendersons' window, she glimpsed Tom holding their newborn. His shoulders sagged with exhaustion. Sarah sat beside him, calculator in hand, surrounded by crumpled bills. Karen shook her head. Sentiment was the enemy of order. If she made one exception, where would it end?